And welcome to the last part of Castlevania II Belmont Revenge. Here we are in the final stage of Dracula's castle, and ready to get going. Although I always found it odd as to why Dracula's castle always had to have a chapel, but I'm sure somebody else who knows more about Dracula's, origins and well-being would, or not well-being would know that, but, well, I'm just asking questions at this point. I actually should have gone over to this platform a lot sooner. Otherwise he's just gonna respawn. To make sure this Grim Reaper doesn't knock me off. And yeah, he did respawn, so that is something you have to watch out for. And the bird was pretty easy to take care of. There are these collapsing blocks. They're easy enough, just as long as you make your way across them quickly. And there should be... nope, that's just the end of this section. Yeah, that first part was simple enough, but what we're doing is going into the next section, which is going to feature a little bit more danger climbing up, and more spikes. First we get some cheaply placed enemies here. And let's see if I can make it here. And I did. And now watch this kill me. Or not. Anyway, that part's pretty dangerous because it is really easy to lose your whip. And, it is also kind of tough to make it across there without getting knocked off too. Here we get another Grim Reaper, just jump and duck, just like usual. I am actually going to want to get this because it has an axe, and an axe is much more useful at the later parts of this level compared to the holy water. Here we have spikes. You actually don't want to destroy these, because you actually can't get across after that. So what you're gonna do is just wait until the spikes retract and make your way across. That actually would have been health, but since I had full health, it's another heart. And if you destroy this thing, or it drops down low enough that you can't jump back up to this rope. So just make sure you leave this one going. And for this next one, what we gotta do is make the way across, or make my way across, and then get to that rope, because I am actually gonna need to destroy this one in order to progress. So let's just take care of that. And also make sure you do duck just so you don't go into the spikes. Let's just make our way up here. And here we get just some platforming. It is actually pretty useful if you did lose your whip, or thanks to those melon men where you did end up dying. But it's really not that bad to accomplish. And the Grim Reapers are actually pretty easy to deal with now once you know their pattern. And see here, I'm just going to need to make my jumps. And that one you do have to be careful on because it is pretty easy to hit the spikes. So on to the next section, and I should take this bat out easily. So let's just go ahead. This actually would have been a whip power-up had you died and come back to this section. But that's just a heart if you have full whip power. Now here's where they really turn the heat up with the ropes, and what they want you to do is make your way across, as well as killing some pikemen. You'll see the pikemen pretty soon. Yeah, right here. So this takes a lot of being able to multitask in order to make it across this thing. And you're actually going to have to do the same thing here. Just make sure you wait until the ropes start going up before you make your way across. And this is where it gets a little bit trickier. And I'm just going to do the same thing one more time. Just making my way across. And you can get this power up if you want, but really I'm just going to leave it because it's really not that important to me. And that was a lot closer than that needed to be. Anyway, let's just get rid of this bat before he causes me any trouble. And this jump can be a little tricky because it's kind of like the first Ninja Turtles with the pizza, or the missile, where you have to walk across. If you do try jumping, you're probably going to end up hitting the spikes. So that's just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let that one go. And, let's see, I just need to pick this guy off with a fire hull. And do the same thing with this bat. I'm going to want to wait until the platform starts going to the right. So I can do this. And get the 1-up. Well, that's another 5 hearts I just pissed away. And what are you gonna do? Let's see, in the next section, these are just some pikemen. They're pretty easy to handle. Let's see, do I want to do this? Well, yeah, that was probably the most pointless trade-off. But what are you gonna do? I'm just gonna take the birds out with the axe. And the axe will get a lot more useful later on. Or actually pretty soon because we're getting up to that section. Alright, go down your platform. And just gotta wait for this thing. There's another Grim Reaper guy. Fortunately, he's pretty easy to deal with. For some reason, I thought I could whip that thing. Turns out I can't. So with these spiders, all I'm gonna do is just wait for them and then hit them with the axe. Because I just want to leave as much rope as possible. And now that he's done with, let's just make our way across. You can get yourself in trouble in this next section. Because there is going to be another bunch of spiders. And see, I need to wait for this guy to go down. Like so. So this part's where it gets a little bit trickier because I'm going to need to wait for him to go down. Get him with the axe. And then do the same thing with this one. Just like so. That is kind of tricky to do, but I mean if you are with enough practice you can get it done. And that's kind of how this whole game is. With enough practice you can get really good at it. No, you are not taking away my whip. And just break this one for some more health. And here we are approaching a boss fight. There's some pretty ominous music leading up to this confrontation. Who could it be? Well, I'm not gonna spoil anything for you yet. We're gonna need holy water for this one. And I probably should have hung on to some of those hearts, but oh well. And here's the big twist, we finally found Soleiyu. Problem is, Dracula got a hold of him first. So this is gonna be kinda like the Richter fight in Symphony of the Night, except that, you actually don't have to, use holy glasses or anything that could destroy an orb. But instead, you just have to take Soleiyu out yourself. So, time to be a good father and give our son a whooping for acting up on me. Soleiyu's gonna start by throwing these knives. They're gonna close in on you. And whenever you get too close to Soleiyu, he's gonna start whipping. And what you're gonna want to do is use some well-placed holy water shots, and also make sure you do whip him whenever he starts jumping up, like that. And you're generally safest from the knives whenever you are far away from them. So if you're at the opposite end of where the knives are thrown, then you're gonna be okay. And the reason you do want to keep the holy water on you is because you can get several hits on him if you place your holy water well. And see, all I'm trying to do here is just get to the right spots. The thing is, you don't want him getting too close on you, because if he does, he's gonna end up whipping you, and since he is stronger, and also he does more damage to you than you do to him, so you don't want to get in any shootouts with him. Alright, see, where are you? Alright, one more hit to go. And he's done. So now that we've defeated Soleiyu, he finally comes to his senses, but you'll see that in this next cutscene. Yeah, see, there's a cutscene between this and then the final boss fight, which you will see soon. And this was the reason for the 4 castles. Now what's gonna happen is Dracula's going to channel those spirits as opposed to Soleiyu's spirit to gain his power back quicker. Tried to have quickly and quicker. I don't know how that worked. Anyway, here we are in the final corridor, and what this is just a bunch of skeleton reapers across a bridge. Pretty ominous, not gonna lie. But then again, this is just to power up in case you do end up dying, which if you are playing this for the first time, you are gonna die quite a bit. And you will see why. All I gotta do is whip this candle. And here's Dracula using the 4 spirits of the castles. And we're up to the final boss fight against Dracula. Now what he's gonna do is just throw a bunch of eyeballs at you, and you have to go to very precise locations in order to avoid them. And this took a ton of practice run for me to get right, and the reason for that is because this is a lot of trial and error, and also a lot of pattern recognition, so you do have to be good at those things in order to make it across this. And just barely avoided that one. And yeah, what makes this guy so tough is the fact that his eyeballs are very fast, and also they come with, I mean, they have the same pattern, but you do have to basically memorize, like, where the safe spots are, depending on where Dracula is. And that's just what I'm doing right now. And yeah, this boss fight is gonna take a while, so the clock's not exactly on your side. Since you do have to be defensive, since his eyeballs do quite a bit of damage. And also, you're not exactly in the best position to fight him either. So what I'm gonna do is just get out of the way. And also the weapons aren't gonna be able to do much, so just make sure you do keep that in mind. Let's see, just 4 more hits. Now the question is, can I get them before I end up running out of time? Because if you do end up playing this really defensively, chances are you are going to run out of time. I'm not really sure what the logic behind that is, but then again, this is a Game Boy game. Or this is an old school game. I guess the trail well, to take a joke from the Super Gaming Brothers, the trail goes cold. Oh, that was close. Let's see, almost there. No, that was not smart at all. That was even less smart. And all of a sudden I'm almost dead. Okay, since I somehow almost choked that away, but I ended up beating him. Yeah, I ended up putting myself in a bad spot, and that's one of the things that makes this boss fight so tough. Is that, you can put yourself in a bad spot and then just end up losing. And getting yourself killed. But all's well that ends well. So, like in true Castlevania fashion, you have to escape from the crumbling castle. And with that, we have beaten Castlevania II Belmont Revenge. My thoughts on the game are pretty simple. I do like the gameplay style. It does remind me a lot of Mega Man, what with its gimmicks and the fact that it expects you to learn about the game as the game goes on, which I always like about games. Especially older games. And also they do a good job of expecting you to put those things together, or put together everything you learned. Like, you learn skills and then you build them as the game goes on, and then eventually you have to put them all together at the end. So that's something I do appreciate about older games compared to newer ones today. But I mean, not to mention I don't like newer games, it's just that I like older ones better. Though with that, that was the yeah, this text does scroll pretty slowly, and yeah, it's gonna be here for a while. But also another thing about those 2 boss fights, it did take a ton of trial and error for me to, you know, figure them out and play them the way I did. You know, except for that part where I almost died to Dracula. But what's gonna happen? That's a wait. Yeah, I just need to collect my thoughts here. Sorry. But yeah, that basically what I did was I made a save state at the respective boss fight and then just played the hell out of it until I knew exactly what was gonna happen. So that is something you might have to do just in case you are gonna end up having trouble with these boss fights. But yeah, this is a game you can get really good at with practice. So with that, I will resume the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle series, or more accurately, I'll finish the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle series probably sometime within the next month. And, yeah, I mean, I just have to finish the 4th one, even though I haven't already started playing it yet in a while. Or I haven't played it in a while. Sorry, I've been up since 6 AM, so my commentary, I'm just mumbling all over the place and, mixing up my words like crazy. But then again, I did play this well enough to warrant uploading. We'll just have to see. And yeah, this is just more stuff with about the Belmont family and what they do. There are a few more credits, but honestly, I've already said everything I need to say. So with that, I will see you in Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle 4. Hey guys, there are a few things I forgot to show off regarding the password function, so let's just go ahead and show it off. So after the game over, you get an option to continue or state select or password, and when you go to the password, it shows you the password. And it's pretty simple, 4 characters. Yeah, not much else to say here. And just one more thing. And this is just what the password looks like. So this was just what I just did. And when you hear that chime, that means you got it right. Unfortunately, they are generous enough to drop you off at the 2nd stage of Dracula's castle. No, just in case you wanted to know. Anyway, that is the real end of Castlevania II Belmont's Revenge. Thanks for watching, and we now return you to our regularly scheduled series with Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle 4. See you then.